This year's Distinguished Service Award honoree is Thomas Adrian. Tom graduated or attended Washburn University for both his undergraduate and his law education. During his time as a student at Washburn, he was active in the Student Council, debate, Young Democrats, Topeka, social fraternity. He was honored in Newsman, American colleges and universities, and was called the Saginaw Men's Honorary. While in law school, he was a member of the Phi Alpha Delta fraternity. After practicing law for 3 years in Topeka, he founded Adrian Pankratz P.A. in Newton, and recently joined Hinkle Law Firm as Senior Counsel, and he maintains the firm's office in North Newton. He's been the recipient of countless awards over the course of his career and has served on board to support his local community and the law community. Some of his notable honors for his service within the law community include being the recipient of the Outstanding Service Award from the Kansas Bar Association twice in 2001 and 2014. In 2018, he also received the Pillars of the Community Award from the KBA. He was recognized with the Robert K. Weary Award from the Kansas Bar Association, or Kansas Bar Foundation, in 2014. He's a KBF Platinum Fellow and served on the Board of Trustees from 1999 to 2005, including President in 2004. Tom's been a member of the KBA since 1969 and a member of the Kansas Continuing Legal Education Committee since 1994. I've been familiar with Tom by reputation for many years, and maybe we probably met on different occasions, but it wasn't really until our time together on the Board of Governors that I got to know him. And I've truly enjoyed that because I've gotten to appreciate much more all the contributions that he's made, not only to his community, but certainly to Washburn Law School. We've had the privilege of serving on search committees together and working on a variety of different things. And I can assure you that while we've talked about certain things, there's much more that Tom's done over the years. We also know we had the privilege of just spending some time with Tom and Ann on a trip to Egypt with one of our Alumni Association trips. And I could tell you that at a time when one of the alligators attacked some of those on the trip, that Tom wrestled that alligator to the ground and threw it back down the Nile River. But as an attorney and with the Supreme Court sitting over here, I do have an obligation to be candid to the tribunal. So I will not indicate that took place. But suffice it to say, we had a great time on the trip. Tom, please come forward and accept your award.
When Lucky asked me if he should say something like that when we were on the trip, I said no. So is it also, Judge Osmond, I think you could embark on a second career as a stand-up comedian. I think you would draw an audience for that. So before we, as Natalie and I visited a little bit before the event started, I told her that I put together some remarks, but I thought they came across kind of preachy. She said, you know, I thought the same thing. She said, but they can't take this away from me. So what the heck? So you're going to have to bear with my preaching. So. Well, thank you, Lucky and the committee, very much. I am honored. But as I listen to those things that are attributed to me, I can't help but think that they are really attributed to the people I work with in those various areas. I do not believe, and Ann joins me in that we can accomplish much of anything on our own, and that to work together is what accomplishes great things. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later. We're never going to say, I will never hear me say that I alone can do anything, because I can't. It's going to take a group. Also, I would say that for all my involvement in Washburn, I don't have the candle to my wife Ann. I was telling someone earlier that we have two daughters. One lives in Wichita, Lisa lives in Wichita, and Lori lives in Austin. And there was a day when they couldn't find Ann any place. And so one of them says to the other, well, have you called Washburn? So, if she isn't home, that's probably where she is. So, well, you know, I've heard it said that on one hand, you can have luck, and on the other hand, you can have skill and ability. And if you choose between the two, I'd take luck any day. And I think that's what happened to me early in my life. Somebody unknowing to me gave me that choice, and I chose luck. And somehow then things started to work right for me. And all after that, of course, I graduated from high school. I came back to Washburn University, and I joined a fraternity. And I got, was elected president of the student class. Can you imagine a kid from Moundridge do that? And so, and then, I got into law school of all things. Can you believe that? But the big thing was I met Adrian Pankratz. And my goodness, what a life that has been. I may need the Kleenex here in a moment, but and she has as much involvement at Washburn University and hence the law school as do I. Shortly after getting into being admitted to law school in 1966, in June, the tornado blew through, and that's already been mentioned, and it blew away much of the campus, and it blew away a significant portion of the building that was Carnegie, was that right? Yeah. And that building that I had looked forward to getting into. And yet, by August, I think Rich Hayes and I, and others walked into the law school, and it consisted, as I recall, of 7 mobile units, and they comprised administrative offices, and a library, and classrooms. And as you walk through those buildings, the floors would creak, and the acoustics were awful, and when you walked out the door, it was right into the weather, whatever weather candidates might bring us on that particular day. And I tell you that not to laud us for putting up with that, which we did for 3 years, but to say that that was such a wonderful example of the motto that I think Washburn University and Washburn Law School follow, which is non novus solo. And that is, the English translation of that is not for ourselves alone. And you see, to make that transition between the damage that happened in June and we walked into a law school in August, it took so much. It took faculty, it took administration, it took alums, it took cooperation, it took the attitude that no one was in that for themselves alone. And that put it together. That is the message that I have gotten from Washburn Law School, and that's what I hope I've carried through in my life. A few years ago, well actually it was in 2008, I heard a speaker, Richard Susskind, and it was at an ABA event in Chicago, and he had just authored a book called The End of Lawyers. And his point was that the market for law has changed so much that if we simply continue in practicing law as we have for all these years, the market is going to take things away from us. For me, for example, when I got out of law school, one of the primary businesses that you do, both here in Topeka and in Newton when I moved there, were to examine abstracts. Who in here has examined an abstract since, or wants to for that matter? They're awful, but that is gone. That business is gone. It's all been taken over by title insurance. And that has happened over and over and over again. And Richard Susskind is a Scottish lawyer that has written extensively and researched extensively on the practice of law. He wrote a subsequent book in, I think it was 2018, called The Future Lawyers, or The Future Lawyers. And in that, he predicts that everything's going to have to change. The market is going to demand that we change. And I think that imposes an awful lot on the law school, because the practice is going to change. The practice is different now than it was when we got out. If we introduced a law student out of graduated one from 1969 and put them out into business now, they'd be lost. And so now we're going to have to, we as law school people are going to have to support the law school, help them make those changes, help them recognize what the market is like. And it is something that we're going to have to do. So, you see, I think what the example we had from the tornado in 1966, we can emulate in this tornado that's coming at us. It's a lot different subtle, it's a more subtle tornado. It's a tornado that is going to be as impactful, I think, as the 1966 tornado. But with the example that we saw from 1966, the example that we've seen all the years since then, the example we see from the law school working at putting lawyers into rural counties, and they have a program on that. Their program to provide third year anywhere is a wonderful program. It's innovative. It's the kind of thing that's going to happen. We have the tools, and we have the alums, and we have the faculty, and we have the leadership, and we have the university to do all that. So that's my challenge. We've got the tornado coming. I appreciate you listening to me, because I rarely get these kind of soapboxes to sit at. So I am so proud. I am so proud to be part of Washburn University, and I will continue to feel that way, and I'll continue to help in the future. Thank you.